What is it, Not Lassie? Listeners can become a patron on Podbean and gain access to exclusive content for as little as $5 a month. What do they get? Outtakes? Lost episodes? Bloopers? And swag. Yes, their contribution will help keep That Taxi podcast going. And Timmy fell down the well again? Well, okay, let's go get him. Yeah, you're right. Fuck that little kid. He's got to learn sometime. In today's episode of That Taxi podcast,
there's bad people in politics. Right. It's just, we have TV shows about it. We have movies about it. Doesn't matter if you say Trump, blah, blah, blah. Well, what about Biden? Blah, blah, blah. The answer is, yeah, both of them. Blah, 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 blah. It's all bad. Well, which one's worse?
It doesn't matter.
You can't even go there.
So I just keep driving, and the Border Patrol guy swings around, and he lights it up, and the guy is in the back going, "I give you $100. You keep going. You keep going." I said, "I can't. He's pulling me over. That's the law.
$100 though.
I have to pull over." Well, he's trying to get me to go, but
$100 is pretty small.
Welcome to That Taxi Podcast. I'm Thomas.
And I'm Taxi David, author of Too Much to Handle, a series of hilarious cartoons of all the crazy things that happen in and around my taxi.
Thanks for jumping into our cab for a ride-along.
Yeah, we've been driving taxi for years, and we love to talk about work.
You mean bitch about work?
Yeah, okay, that's true. Everybody does bitch about work.
We know you'll find this entertaining.
Sure will, because we have a unique point of view as nighttime taxi drivers.
That Taxi Podcast drops every Wednesday on Spotify and wherever else you get this podcast.
Thomas, I think you mean to say wherever you get your podcast.
No, Einstein. I mean wherever they get this podcast. I don't care where they get their other podcasts.
Okay, yes. Okay, well, let's go.
Up we go.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. Boom, 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 boom. And they're always glad you came. Boom,
man, when I tell you she was cool, she was red hot. I mean, she was steaming. The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town.
Can I brag about
spread the word around?
Thin Lizzy.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what my song was? Cheers. I sang the Cheers song.
Cheers, like the TV show Cheers?
Sometimes you want to go where
Oh, yeah, I know the song.
So, I was thinking about that recently because I was watching all the episodes from the very beginning.
Oh, okay.
And you know how when you're watching or binge watching a show, the intro comes on and you just skip right to the show?
Yep.
Every time I forget to skip the intro.
So you heard the song.
So I listen to the song every time. And I want to sing it. It was one of those songs that it doesn't matter how many times I like. If I watch 3 episodes in a row, I listen to the intro 3 times. And I don't. By the time I get to the end of the song, I'm like, oh shit! I could have just skipped this and gone right to
Isn't that one of those songs that actually became popular, almost a hit?
I think the song was already a song. Oh wait, maybe
because of the show,
it became a hit.
Yeah, but it was a song before.
It was this? I don't know if the song was written for Cheers because it has a whole bunch of verses,
right?
And then obviously it's truncated down to one short little bit,
I thought it might have been a song beforehand. Cheers picked it up as their theme song, and it became popular.
Oh, well, it'd be interesting to look that up. Okay. I'd like to find out. Should we find out for people right now while they're wondering?
No, let's let them do the work.
Well, I mean, I can do the editing.
Let them do the work.
I can edit that.
Work. Sure.
Yeah, I'll edit it. Let's see. According to Wikipedia, the song was written by Portnoy and Judy Hart Angelo. Shortly after the premiere of Cheers, Portnoy went back into the studio to record a longer version of the song that made the U.S. and British pop charts.
Okay.
So it was written for the TV series.
And then he made a song out of it.
A longer song. So how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. How you been? It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's good to be back in Alley, huh? Oh, wait, we're not in Alley.
No, we're
It's
not
broken again.
It's not like again. It's been months and months.
I know, but to the people who are listening,
okay, maybe.
Yeah, it's like a shorter time for them.
So yeah,
just like Biden, she caught COVID.
Oh, so that's something else to talk to. Talk about my car's fine though. It's probably just a simple electrical
Yeah, I
problem
think it
that
is
we
just
resolved.
could be as simple as a loose ground wire or something like that. So
that's what the flickering would be.
Yeah.
So yeah, you mentioned the COVID, meaning Biden had COVID. You said, right?
Biden has, well, at the time of this recording, he's recovering from COVID again.
So we're back from break,
amongst other things.
And I do think it's valuable to like mark the time that what's going on in our world at the time that we are back.
Okay.
Biden just had his debate with Trump. It didn't go so well.
Right.
And then he caught COVID. Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. I really wasn't.
And someone tried to assassinate Trump.
Yeah. And
failed, thankfully.
Well, he clipped his ear. Right. And then Biden fell out of the race yesterday.
He pulled out, yeah.
Yeah, he fell out of the race or pulled out yesterday, and we don't know what's going on quite yet, what the plan is.
Well, we believe Harris is gonna
at this time Kamala Harris might become
the candidate.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's where we are.
Lots to go on.
And I think we want to avoid any opinion that we might have initially on it. I have some fun theories that are based on nothing than my own meandering thoughts.
Well, I think I've been around long enough to realize that it really doesn't matter who makes it in. It's all all parties are corrupt, and in one way or another.
And in my debates or conversations with other people, I hear what they're saying. I really, really do. And I hear, this guy's this bad or this guy's this bad. And I get it. You got it. But the reason is what you're saying. They're both bad.
Right.
Both sides, Republicans and Democrats, both, and everybody else. There's bad people in politics. Right. It's just we have TV shows about it. We have movies about it. We have, it's endless stories, and it's not based on nothing.
Right.
So it's all bad. It doesn't matter if you say Trump, blah, blah, blah. Well, what about Biden? Blah, blah, blah. The answer is, both of them. Blah, 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 blah. It's all bad. Well, which one's worse?
It doesn't matter.
You can't even go there, man, because first of all, in reality, you don't know.
Right.
And you're never going to know. Right? Anyway, enough of that. But this is what's going on in the world right now. But why is it this way? We've been brought up this way. What was the name of your rival school? Or you had a rival school, right?
I didn't go to school.
When you were in high school.
Oh, high school?
Yeah.
I didn't go to high school.
I think you're full of shit.
Yeah, I am.
Where'd you go to high school? You don't have to say where you went to high school.
Okay.
You want to? But you have a rival team.
Sure.
Everybody remembers or can remember. If you had to go back, you could find out what your rival school is. That's the one that you had pep rallies against who you're going to go to homecoming and
Bulldogs suck.
Yeah, we're going to crush them. And the only reason they sucked because they lived in that district. They didn't choose that school. Some people did. I get it. Yes, some people did. But mostly people went to that school because they lived near that district, school.
And the people in that school were saying, "Oh yeah, well the Vikings
screw your
suck."
School." Yeah. And it was only based on where you lived. So we've been programmed since we were young to be tribal, to fight, to be angry at somebody else or hold them up as the enemy.
Right.
And then we grow up and then there's Republicans and Democrats and you're wondering why people are so divisive. We do it with football. Fucking Cowboys and the Vikings. Do players switch teams, go to different places? Yeah. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's all the same. So anyway, no, but the Cowboys really do suck. I'm just joking. But that's what's going on in the politics thing. And the reason I think a lot of that won't change is because if so many people agree with one issue, politicians know where to attract people.
Mm-hmm.
Certain things will never be solved because they need us to be divided. Because the larger group of one is what you cater to and not the smaller group. And if the smaller group gets bigger, then we cater to that one. Anyway, That's my political, and it's not because I went to college and I got a degree in political science or anything like that. I didn't get a degree in anything like that. It's just what it feels like, and it's a lovely day.
It's a beautiful day. Well, let's get to it.
I know I was getting all hot about
Dispatcher. Welcome to the Dispatcher.
We've hijacked the spinning wheel from the classic board game, The Game of Life.
And each number on that wheel is assigned a different topic for us to discuss.
And just like our conversations in the taxi, we never know what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, that's what makes what we do so real.
So let's see where the dispatcher sends us now.
The Dispatcher.
Dispatcher.
Dispatcher. Hey, you know what? Let's veto this. We've been gone for quite a while.
Yeah.
Let's do interesting or crazy stories for the last 3 months. That's happened to us.
I have expected you to just like go knock the thing out of my hand.
No, I don't want to do that.
Okay. Crazy stories, yeah.
That's
yeah,
a very
okay. That's a good
expensive
idea.
wheel.
Do you have any crazy stories?
I do have one.
Yeah.
I picked up.
No, go ahead. You first.
No, you first.
You brought it up, so you go first.
I had a couple of guys I picked up out of a hotel right by the border.
Okay.
And they call and talk to the dispatcher, and they said they wanted to go look at farms. And the dispatcher was like, I don't know what you mean. We need an address to take you to. They finally give us an address that they want to go to. Go up there to pick them up. And by the way, the address they want to go to is a good 15 miles away. So it's going to be a spendy ride.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be probably about $70.
Nice.
Which is good, yeah.
Yeah.
So I go pick them up, and they say, okay, over by the truck over there is our bags. I'm like, okay. And they had 2 big suitcases. Pick them up, take them to the address they want to go to. And the dispatcher had suspected that this may be a border crossing incident where they want to cross the border illegally to go to Canada.
That's a fair assessment, I think.
Right. And so on the long rides, we always ask for the fare up front so we don't get stiffed.
Right.
Once I got paid, I radioed the dispatcher and said, okay, good to go. And that was a code word for him to call the Border Patrol. Let them know.
Because you were close enough that
Right.
they could.
And so they call, the dispatcher calls the Border Patrol, and we tell them what's going on. Tell them the address they gave us, and as I'm pulling up to the address, which is a good 15 miles away, and it's right, the address they gave us is like 20 yards. Across 20 yards, you'd be in a different country.
Yeah.
As I start to pull into the driveway of the address they gave us, which was a giant farm, by the way, he sees the Border Patrol coming at us. He goes, no. Keep going. All of a sudden, he changes his story. So I just keep driving, and the Border Patrol guy swings around, gets up behind me.
Oh, he hadn't lit up yet.
No, he hadn't lit up till he got behind me.
Nice, okay.
And he lights it up, and the guy's in the back going, I give you $100. You keep going. I said, I can't. He's pulling me over. That's the law.
$100 though.
I have to pull over. Well, he's trying to get me to go, but
$100 is pretty small though. Yeah.
So he looks at all their paperwork and stuff, asks them what they're doing, and they're telling him, "Oh, we're looking at farms to possibly rent. We're gonna go knock on doors and see if we can rent houses or rent a farm." And the Border Patrol guy's like, "No, you're not gonna do that. You can't go on private property."
Sure.
And take pictures, because they were saying, we want to take pictures of farms, and you can take pictures from the road because this is public, but you can't go on someone's property.
Like in the fields or on the driveways, yeah.
So the other police officer, Border Patrol officer, is standing there and they're talking amongst themselves in Pakistani because they were Pakistan.
Okay.
And he's like, I don't want you guys talking until we're done. He wouldn't let them talk to each other. So they're asking him, why do you have your luggage? Sure. It's just a fishy ass story.
It is. It's weird.
They check out all the paperwork and say, okay, well, you're good to go, I guess. Where are you going to go? And the younger guy, he says, I'm just going to walk down and take pictures of the farms, and then we'll go back to the motel. And the border patrol guy goes, okay, you can do that. So he has me wait like on the side of the road while he's walking down the road acting like he's on TikTok saying, oh, look at these beautiful houses and farms out here in Washington State. So beautiful. And as I'm sitting there, I'm looking and I see a giant pole and there's cameras all along the road. There's all cameras. And I watch them as they're following him. You can see someone in the office somewhere is remote controlling, following him. The old guy behind me, I say, do you see that? And they kind of looks up and goes, what? What? I said, those cameras are following your friend. And he sticks his head out the window and goes, says something in their language. And so the guy comes back in and has me take him back to the hotel. So we got double fare for that.
Yeah. Okay. So was it planned to be one way?
It was going to be one way.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Of course it was. Okay. So legally they were okay. So that would be like us walking along. It's very fishy.
Right.
But technically you're fine.
Right.
Yeah.
You haven't breaking any laws.
Yeah. Well, they got caught. They're not getting across there anyway.
Right. Yeah.
There used to be tunnels. I don't know how long ago. I want to say it was like maybe 15 years ago. Might even be 20 years ago. That a couple farms on those same roads along Zero Avenue, the road right between the two countries, and they were shuttling people across. It made the paper. It was huge. It was a huge deal when it got uncovered.
Well, the guy who owned the hotel called the Smuggler's Inn.
Good God, it's called the Smuggler's Inn.
Yes. And was busted for that. He's still fighting it in court.
It's like a little on the nose, buddy.
Yeah.
No one's going to know.
It's like,
who's going to know?
There was a discussion I had with someone about what if bands were actually what their names were. And I said, well, yeah, you wouldn't want to be hanging around with the Killers now, would you?
Right.
Yeah. How about you? Any weird things?
Yeah, I had an interesting experience. I had a Uber Lyft driver who I've sort of taken under my wing, kind of like Alex was.
Yeah.
You know, if you've been following our podcast, Alex was an Uber Lyft driver that sometimes I tossed rides to when I was overflowing. And her name is Jamie, and I threw her several rides. But what blew me away is in a week and a half time, less than 2 weeks, she was sexually harassed and violated. Like,
were these people that were regulars of yours?
The first one was a regular, and he held her quote unquote hostage by not paying her.
Okay.
Right? It's like, come inside. I got the money inside. inside. And he got
trying to lure her inside.
Yeah, and he was kissing her hand and hugging her and touching her between her boobs, because of the cleavage and everything. And I'm like, holy crap. And I know this guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like totally disturbed that this happened. I'm just so embarrassed. I've been driving him for years. Never thought anything.
Feel like it's you're responsible.
I felt like it was my fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally feel like it was my fault because I should know better. But I've not seen this behavior.
For sure.
I don't see this stuff. But then she had a guy that was in Lyft, I think, who got very verbally abusive with her. This is what I want to do to you. I'm going to, choke you. I want to watch you when I do this, and I want to do this to you, and he was very verbally aggressive sexually. And then I'm shocked twice. Holy cow, do you have like a gun, any mace?
Right. Any protection at all?
Yeah, and she has mace now, but she was like trapped in the car with him.
Right.
He was in the back seat. They were at the hotel. He was supposed to be getting out, but I think it was a Lyft thing, and you can turn on something to
like a alert,
and they can.
Just let me ask you something. The first guy you said was a regular of yours. Have you spoken to him since this incident?
Not about it yet. I do intend to.
You have had him in the car?
Yeah, but some of the times he's been really, really wasted, and I can't have a conversation with him about it. So I do intend to have a conversation with him about it. This was a while ago too.
Yeah.
So I've only seen him twice since then. And then I had a guy from the bowling alley who I know call and say, I got 3 guys who need a ride that need to go to the one hotel. And I said, I say the same thing. Do we know them? Do we love them? Do we care about them? And he's like, I don't know these guys. They're not from town. They're visiting, but they've been here all night and they've been having fun. They're just a bunch of guys. We've had a lot of fun together.
Sure.
So I said, okay. And I asked if she wanted to go get it. And she's all about the money. So she said, yeah, I'll go get it. So she gets it. Long story short,
I'm getting a frat boy vibe.
definitely.
Okay.
He was sexually aggressive to her verbally on the way, but when they got there, she had to get out.
One of them or all three of them?
This one of the group. Yeah, I think there was a total of 4. And she had to pop the trunk or the hatchback of her thing, and he got behind her and had his hand around her neck and his other hand in her pants.
What?
Yeah. And in the front.
Yeah.
And was telling her what he wanted to do to her. And she's a very demure, kind of soft person. When confronted something like that, she doesn't know how to handle it. She just kind of laughed like, okay, Yeah, I've heard her use a mom voice, like Alex talks about. I honestly know that she could use a mom voice and set all that straight. So I've been encouraging her to use that. Get the fuck off of me. She told me what happened, and I was like, we're calling the cops.
Yep.
We're calling the cops on this one.
Oh, absolutely.
There is no way. And she's like, oh, I don't want to ruin anybody's life. I don't want to whatever. So I'm like, no, we ended up calling her boyfriend because it's like, if you won't let me, maybe he has an opinion that you'd listen to.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, you're calling the cops.
Yeah.
So we called the cops. They came out. They took all the information, and they went out there, and they arrested him.
Good.
Yeah, they were all leaving. They were about leaving the hotel when they were doing their investigation on the property, and they ended up letting him go. They decided it wasn't a felony because they didn't know each other, so they were able to let him go because he hadn't. I don't know what the circumstance was, but he already has been prosecuted. So just so you know, from this point on, they have all the video from the hotel because this happened right under the awning, right by the entrance.
Yeah.
Turns out this guy is an up-and-coming football player.
Oh.
Yeah. And
from UW?
No, not from around here.
Okay. Let me just say this. If any of you experience anything like that, call the cops.
Yeah, and even
don't let it slide.
And don't worry, don't think, I don't want to ruin this guy's life. And it may not. This whole thing might just be, what I anticipate is going to happen? Since it's not a felony, they're going to go to her and say, sorry about all of this. Can we, pay you something? And, it'll all go away.
Right.
Because someone's going to make sure this goes away. He already has a lawyer.
That could have been very traumatizing for her.
Well, it was actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Anyway, the lawyers have already been talking, the prosecuting attorney here and the lawyer there. This isn't the guy's first time. You know what I mean? If he did that, this isn't his first time.
Right. So he's had other...
Has to have.
Okay.
No, I meant the behavior.
Okay.
And when you're an up-and-coming athlete in this industry of professional football, there's so much permissiveness in that industry. You're at the hotel, they bring in the girls. Oh yeah, had sex with one of them. They didn't like that. We'll make it go away.
Right.
Then she found him on Instagram, and he and his girlfriend are about to have a baby. So then she was like, fuck that guy. Right. And that's what it took. That's what it took for you to do this, because what you want to do, even if nothing comes of it, is you want to create a record.
Right.
Just a record. Nothing happens, fine. Just move on. Yeah, a precedence, because the next time it happens and the next time it happens, now we've got a pattern of behavior, and then he needs to be accountable. He needs to be accountable at all. For everything.
Yeah.
So, maybe that's something to keep coming back to. I'll let you know because she keeps me informed.
Okay.
What's going on.
Still ongoing.
Yeah, it's still ongoing. Obviously, it's going to take.
I'm interested if you do confront this first guy.
I know what I'm going to say.
If he even remembers it. He might.
He already knows because he's talked about her.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Because I want to say about that.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll be sending her to you anymore, because this is what happened.
Yeah.
And he's going to be apologetic. I know. He will be apologetic. He's the kind of person who gets yelled at when he's drunk and stupid, but he's, maybe
we all do.
Yeah. But it disturbed me. So when you say wild and anything crazy happened, that was something that had an impact on me emotionally. That I just was shocked at how much she dealt with this kind of stuff in life. And then so you begin asking the question. I think of Alex. Alex is a little more abrasive and
she would have handled it.
She could shut it down differently. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway,
but don't let shit like that slide. That's what I want people to get out of that.
Is it easier said than done?
I don't know.
So
Dispatcher 2?
Oh, let's go to the dispatcher. Sorry. Here we go. Number two. Killing downtime.
Well, we've had a lot of downtime.
Yeah, we did have a lot of downtime. What did you do during our downtime?
I am learning, and if you heard the little trailer we had last couple weeks ago,
yeah,
I'm learning I'm learning Japanese, a new language.
Yeah.
So
I
have an app on the phone that is helping me out. I've been doing it for a little over 2 months now. So
why are you learning Japanese?
Because by the time, I want to say 10 years from now, I want to go to Japan and live in Japan.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
For real?
Absolutely.
What do you want to do in Japan?
I want to walk around to noodle shops and eat
and
noodles.
Say, do you have noodles and tea?
Noodles and tea,
I think that's what you said last time. That you
rice and gohan,
tea?
And ocha.
So how do you say ocha. How do you say it? How do you ask for it?
Gohan to ocha kodasai.
And that means?
Rice and green tea, please.
Okay. Arigato. I know how to say that.
And you know that there's a sushi restaurant kind of around town called Oishi?
Oishi, sure.
That means tasty.
Oh. Okay. So I have this thing about, I don't know if we've talked about this in the podcast, like the nails places, Happy Nails.
Happy Nails. Happy Feet.
Yeah, Happy Feet.
Oh,
Tasty.
That's a movie.
Oh, is it? The
Tasty Nails.
Tasty. Sorry.
Tasty Feet.
Tasty Feet could be a thing.
Ooh.
Go to Tasty Feet OnlyFans. No, or like Happy Food, and it's like, is that because they don't know, they don't have a grasp of the language, and
I think it's something that gets lost in translation.
Well, I imagine them going into the place to do the licensing, and they say, okay, what's the name of your business? And they go, we do nails. It's like, yeah, but what do you call it? Like, nails. But you should have something that makes people want to go, that makes them happy when they go there. Yeah. Happy Nails. Whatever. We just want to run the business. Just put up the name, and that's it.
Right.
Would we do that if we were in other countries? If we were opening a burger joint in Japan?
Happy Burger?
Well, would we be using their words the way they would be using our words?
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, I just think I think you're right. It's lost in translation. So we don't have a word for it, but let's just call it what you want it to be, and we'll move on. Just want to open the business. No, that's interesting. What do you want to do there rather than just go around asking for tea?
My dream goal would be to do voiceover for anime.
Get out.
Mm-hmm.
You know how you could do that starting now?
Mm-mm.
Or look around in Seattle. They have voiceovers for textbooks and books, and you can do this all voluntarily and all from home with your audio equipment and get paid if you want. For some of them, you can get paid if you work for an agency, but they have books and books and books that they need audio of, and you can get experience and get a portfolio. I don't know, maybe. So you don't automatically get into the industry. You can show that. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to teach English as a second language, but I'm going to volunteer at the community college for a year or 2 or 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then with that kind of experience, I could pretty much go anywhere and be accepted anywhere. Plus, I have a degree in education, so that behind me, and the certification that you got to get. But you could do voiceover work right now, and it could help you. That's pretty cool, though. Mm-hmm. So you want to do voiceover work in Japanese?
Either way. I could do the English.
Yeah, the English version of something. Yeah.
Because
there is something lost in translation.
The dub.
The dubs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What about you? Have you done anything since we've been gone?
Why, yes. I, every day, would wake up at about 5 in the afternoon, and on my days off, and I would prop up my bed. I'd have breakfast. I'd drink a Red Bull, and I would draw from like 6 in the evening until midnight.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I was catching up on all the cartoons for the second book.
Oh, the second book.
The second book, it's called Taxi David, Volume 2, and the title of that particular volume is called Don't Judge Me. And there are 183 cartoons in the book, and they are all of people I know personally. The first book, with the exception, I think, of 2 pages, was all people I don't know, just random people in the cab and stuff like that. So the second book is all people I do know, and the fun.
But it's still cab.
It's all still the
Still
taxi.
tab-related.
I have enough for 3 more books, so I'm gonna have a total of
What?
5. Yeah, but this is book number 2, and the first book color was blue. The second was green. The third one's gonna be the next 3 are gonna be yellow, red, and orange.
Oh.
These are the colors of the Star Wars card.
Oh, I thought it was LGBTQ.
No.
Okay. Oh.
It just happens that I'm gonna have 5 books
Nice.
I have 5 books in the making. But it's been fun, and one of the fun things I did, so if you are listening and you are in the book and have not gotten this already, please let me know. I framed prints of their pages. Signed and dated and framed prints of their pages that they could purchase. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
And that's been fun because I delivered all of them by hand.
And the books are ready to buy right now?
As of this recording, absolutely. You can go to
Taxi David the
Cartoon. Yeah, taxidavidthecartoon.com.
.com.
And
not .net. .net is for users.
Yeah. It's really cute. They tried to make that. Remember the Gold Rush?
Yeah.
There was the .com Gold Rush. And then when .com was totally absorbed, I thought the guy was going to go the other way. When the .com was totally saturated, it was like, whole new world, it's .net, and everybody's trying to get .net stuff, but that was all. And then there's .tv.
Yeah, the .tv was actually signed to an island in the South Pacific, and they bought it from the island.
Because, okay. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. As a domain charge.
One of the guys the guy who makes our stickers from Stickers for Days, he just, as he's walking around, he'll see a sign and say, oh, or hear somebody say something. That sounds like it would be a good website, .com website. And he's constantly looking
taking
up
domain names
and buying domain names for like a penny, or something like that.
And then selling them to.
Yeah.
Does he go and approach people who might want that name and say, hey, I got this domain name. Do you want to buy it from me? Or does he just wait for them to?
He does a little bit of both. I have a website that I was lucky to get. It's called it's called indiefilmgroup.com.
Oh.
I actually have indiefilmgroup.com, and there is a company that I've been watching me, on the Who Owns It or whatever it's called. And
you can see the stats.
Yeah, you can see that people have been looking it up. And I had a guy, someone did the Indie Film Group, so that's out there. But I own indiefilmgroup.com. Okay. And I wonder if I could turn that over for a pretty penny.
Maybe. Yeah. Well, so we've been busy.
Yeah, we've been busy. Oh, and one other thing is, I had just moved to town when we took our break.
Oh yeah.
And
I think you had already moved we still had.
Oh, we still talked about it. So I don't know if I talked about how exciting it's been for me to just be able. I'm like
to live downtown.
8 blocks to downtown. Yeah. And now that we're in the summer, we have downtown sounds. We have all sorts of festivals downtown. On my days off, I can go and do those things. I'm excited.
Yes.
Moving sucks, though.
Yes, it does. I hate it.
I don't know. We got anything else on that?
No, I think that's it. No. Okay. Oh, I did go to the doctor while we were gone.
And?
He said, you know what? You need to stop masturbating. And I said, why, doctor? Why do I need to stop masturbating? He goes, because I'm trying to examine you.
You had me with that you were into the doctor.
Yeah. Anyway, well, good show, Bob Newhart.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a whole bunch, don't we? There's a lot of people who did.
Well, we'll just do some of them.
Okay. Oh, Bob Newhart. Okay.
Stay positive, kids.
Hasta la later.
Thanks for coming along with us on That Taxi Podcast.
We'll be back next week with a whole new episode, and you can find us on Spotify or wherever you download your podcasts.
Wherever you download this podcast.
Oh, right, sorry.
We want your thoughts, ideas, and feedback on today's episode. So please contact us, and we really do want you to contact us at thattaxipodcast.com, at Twitter, on Facebook, and Instagram. See you next week.
See you next week.